I love customs, honestly. They're a lot of fun.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Ietsie Klein podcast. I'm your host, Hatreda. For episode 17, I've got my best friend, Janine, with me. So she's the owner, operator, and the brains and the beauty and everything behind Black Cat Dyeworks. We've got branded shirts.
Yep.
We're very cute. So I have a Black Cat project that I can talk through. And I also want to ask Janine some questions and then go through her latest project, which was the enchantment or something, autumn box?
Autumn's enchantment.
Yes. Wrong way around.
Close enough.
Close enough. Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Hopefully.
Cool. Okay. So let's quickly show the project. So this is Vertices Unite. You guys have seen it before, but it has grown quite a bit.
Substantially.
Right? It's shawl size now.
You were aiming for blanket, let's be fair.
Schlanket is the right term.
Yes.
So I really like this bright corner here. This was from your Valentine's box, right?
Yes, it was.
That one was really fun. Did you enjoy dyeing that one?
Yes, I did, except for this torture I inflicted on myself by having to break a colour. It was pretty, but was the mental anguish worth it? Not so sure.
I appreciate that colour.
Yes.
Because that particular one is now in my open glow jersey.
Yes.
It's looking gorgeous.
It is. I've seen progress photos and it is absolutely stunning. I know I dyed it myself, but it is very pretty.
It is really nice. There's quite a few other ones that's in here that's also from the Valentine's box. I think it's this one and maybe that one. But yeah, I ended up mixing all of my Black Cat minis and I cannot with 100% certainty tell you what is from where.
The funny thing is I can tell you.
So then tell me.
Okay, so this is from Advent, Festive Fantasy.
Okay.
That is from the Self-Love box.
Yes.
Self-Love box, Advent.
Oh, so I just had them wrong way around. Cool, good stuff.
It's difficult even for me to remember, but you know.
Yeah, but it's lovely. It's really looking really
Oh yeah,
nice.
and that is the Blissful Kits mini and then the
Yes.
special random scan I sent you.
That's the one I got as a lovely gift.
Yeah.
Cool. Then I also have yarn that I bought on an impulse. I believe this is them.
Yes.
Yes. So this yarn, she posted them and I was angry with her because they're too darn pretty. So they are a gorgeous purpley pink variegated one called Goth Barbie, and obviously I can't control myself with a name like that. What's the inspiration behind this one?
Funnily enough, kind of brat stoles, but also there was a post I randomly saw of someone that had like drawn a Goth Barbie, and I was like, okay, because I am a little bit more alternative, and I was like, everyone often does Barbie as like bright neon pink, and I was like, I'm gonna do a Goth Barbie, bring down the like deep dark tones, more burgundy, some pink, and just roll with it and some purple, and I think it turned out.
I think you really nailed it. Like it's totally there. Now for the exciting part. Cool. Hello, bestie. It's me. I'm the bestie.
Yes.
Tan, 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 tan. I always love how you package them with such love and care.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
So I was a bit of a
Some
gremlin.
of them pop their labels a bit.
It's okay. It's okay. We can pop them back.
Yep.
I'm here with the maker.
Exactly.
So I was a bit of a gremlin with this box. So she posted you could buy it with one skein of the MC and then you can choose your contrasting color that goes with it. I couldn't choose. So I bought all three. The labels are going to come off, but that's okay. I'm just going to pull them off. So
yeah,
okay.
That's fine.
So these are all the MC colors. I believe you sold mostly purple ones, eh?
Yes, literally every box except yours had purple in it.
Popular.
Yes.
I love them though. They are gorgeous.
Very much jewel tones. So.
Yes. And then they go with this beautiful jewel tone variegation, which features all three of the colors, right?
Yes.
Gorgeous. I love it. Sure, you've really outdone yourself with this one, eh? Wow. The depth of the color, look at that. It's so stunning. Well done, friend.
Thank you.
And this box also came with goodies. So you collaborated with Little Twisted.
Yes.
Yes. So
One of the
there's
two.
a stitch marker and a card and a hug. I'm just going to wiggle them out. So lovely leafy stitch marker. And then a hug that is in theme with the box, with the bag, right?
Yes.
I'll hold it up with
And
the
kind
bag
of a
just
bit
now.
of the yarns colours as well pulling through here and there.
Yeah, here and there. The greens.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go too matchy, but complementary, I guess.
I think it's harder to find material that matches.
Yes, so we definitely went with complementary, and it very much works with the back of the bag.
Yes.
And the embroidery somewhat.
And there's snackies also in a little baggie. Is there something extra in there?
I believe it's just the snackies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave
They
them
happen
down
to
there.
also literally be in the theme colours.
Well done. I love the little leafies that Jo has put around.
She makes such an effort to make everything look so stunning.
I can't even open this.
I mean, maybe we just go the slide off route.
Wow.
That's what I did with mine.
Okay. And then I can open from the sides and then later fiddle with the leafies to get it.
Exactly.
Oh man, even this.
I always feel bad tearing
So
her packaging.
much effort.
And she packed all of them like that for us.
Oh, lovely. Well done, Jo. So Jo runs Lily J. Lily is her cat's name, right?
I think so, if I recall correctly, and her name is Joanne, so Lily J.
Oh, there's a surprise inside too.
Joanne was kind enough to add a little bit of an extra little thing for us.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So you got a little voucher code.
It's tied.
Ah, thank you. I'm too excited. I'm not paying attention. Oh, okay. I'm just going to hold that over and then show the little stitch marker. It is a gorgeous turquoise bead. Oh, this is lovely. And then the back, which I'm super excited about. So it has beautiful dragon embroidery. And then on the inside, it's a nice deep purple and typical Lily J fashion. Lots of accessories, lots of jangliness, and lots of attention to detail.
A lot. She really does incredible. Such a great job.
This is my first Lily J bag. Can you believe it?
Wow. You got a very cute one.
I did. And I did. This is definitely not going to be my last. Definitely. No. So the hug and the bag fits very nicely, very much in theme. Oh, I love it. It's beautiful.
When I saw that dragon, I was like, I'm convinced.
Yeah.
It is just going to be the theme.
And it comes with a little hand strap. Oh, stunning.
And each one of them is like slightly different because not all of these match up and not all the little straps match up, and they're all slightly different from the rest of the print.
Because they're all handmade, and I know that she usually does a lot of effort to get them the same, but I like that she
just went organic with it.
Organic. Oh, the feel of this fabric is so luxe.
It's very lush.
Yo. Okay, now that I've shown all my new goodies, let's talk Black Cat.
Sure thing.
Tell me the inspiration behind your name.
Well, I happen to own a little baby boy called Binks. There's a black cat behind it all. He's a menace at best, but I love him dearly, and he happened to have been the inspiration because I was sitting here pondering names, and there were so many things that came up. But I've had quite a few black cats so far. Some have gone over the Rainbow Bridge, but Binks, he is a character, and I think he thoroughly comes through. And I think I just settled. When I said it out loud the first time, I was like, you know what? That's it.
Yeah, it feels right.
It's stuck.
Yes.
And then I started working on my logo, and I'm like, yeah, I couldn't have picked a better one. It is what it should have been all this time.
That's so sweet, man.
So the little dye master is running around here the whole time, and mommy's just got to make the treat money with the yarn.
Yeah. In general, you've spoken a little bit about your inspiration that you've got for Goth Barbie, but where do you find your inspiration otherwise?
Gosh, that's a plethora. I am a nerd by nature. I am a gamer. I am very deeply into fantasy and mythical creatures and such. A lot of my inspiration comes from games like World of Warcraft that I have played for 20 odd years. from stuff like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Majority of the fantasy worlds I draw a lot of inspiration for, and I also tend to take a lot of inspiration from music, which is a bit random because obviously music doesn't have color, but like I usually go within like what it makes me feel and what the vibe is. Like I am a particularly big fan of a band called Sleep Token, and they currently are working with a lot of like pinks and like pinks, blacks, grays, like, and I recently dyed even in Arcadia, which was very much themed by their album cover. And I've done that quite a lot where I draw colors from that and then I'll play with it. But it's mostly from fantasy, movies, books, games, you name it. Sometimes it's the most random place, like literally playing a game and looking up at the sky and it has specific colors. And I'm like, let's go.
That's yarn there,
yeah,
right
literally. Literally. And it just works sometimes.
Yeah, I really love that. It's unique in South Africa to have a sort of nerdy inspired yarn.
Yes, it like I'm not the beige short. Nothing against beige, but I'm not the beige short. So I tend to love exploring, mixing and playing with colors. For instance, what you're working with at the moment, Netherstorm. That was completely just a random brainwave and it really worked. But it's also drawing from like mythical forests, and in World of Warcraft literally there's a place called Netherstorm, and there's these big domes with like all sorts of fantasy and like fantastical plants and stuff in it, and a lot of those tones draw from that.
Yes.
How I get to that, no idea sometimes, but it works.
It totally does. I think also like what I can see a lot in your yarn is that there's lots of movement, lots of depth of color.
Yes, semi-solids, I'll dye them, no problem. But at the end of the day, for me, having variegated yarns or dyeing variegated yarn is what really like keeps my brain going. I also really love mixing custom colors and playing with different depths of shade and creating different shades of purple or green. Green has been my most popular like self mixes for some reason.
Not for some reason, because you're putting your heart and soul into it.
Probably. But yeah, so I really like exploring with that. And also I put a painstaking amount of effort into having things blend because I'm me and harsh
cuts.
Yeah, I know. Like literally with Verdant Twilight that is in this box, I spend on average like 2 or 3 hours in front of the dye pots to get that to not look like it was just thrown together.
And
I love that. I love the blends. I love like that business right there.
I think it really shines through. The sun is now playing a little bit. I'll just move it slowly up and down. So where the colors meet, that's what Janine means with blending it. So I think that's also something that's sometimes difficult to get right, because like green and purple is opposite, and you're going to get mud.
Yes.
But what you see here on your border is a little bit of gray, but it's a gray that's tonally fitting. And I really like that about your yarn. It's beautiful that way.
I put like that's my biggest fear. Like when things start going muddy, then I panic. So
I think most dyers do.
Yeah, no, definitely. But that's why I probably spend such a painstaking amount of time making sure it doesn't do that.
Yes,
because I know I wouldn't knit with it if it did.
So tell me, what is your favorite part of the process?
In all honesty, I think that moment when I take it out the pan and I wring it out that first time and I see how it's blended.
This for me.
I will. When I see how it's blended and I can see the color traveling, and I'm like, I think this is going to knit up really well. So like when I see it in the pan and the dye is exhausted, I'm like, I think this is going to be good. But that moment I take it out and I hang it up, I'm like,
and you know it's going to be good.
I know it's going to be a good one. That's exactly like Eternal. The moment I hung it out, I'm like, yep, that's going to be a good one. So
and that one sold fast.
It did. So I think majority of the time, that moment I get to the point where I go into it thinking it's going to be a good idea, but the moment I take it out and I hang it up, I'm like, it worked.
Yeah. Do you sometimes create a colorway and then the way that it comes out and the way that you envisioned it, it's nothing the same, or the way it knits up, it's not what you expected.
I haven't really so far encountered that because I've sort of figured out my color placement and stuff. I know when something's going to stripe.
Okay.
Or when it's going to be like micro stripes, or when it's going to go in the round, it will spiral or whatever. So I kind of have my certain placements that I'm like, I know for a fact it's going to do this. It's more so when I start like speckling and stuff where I'm like, oh, it's probably going to either pull or it will spread out a lot or whatever. But I feel like I'm not ever really truly disappointed by how it knits up. It's just going to be different. And then obviously I also have to remind myself that a swatch versus knitting in the round or whatever is going to be infinitely different from a little 25 stitch little thing that I knit up, and then it maybe stripes, and then when it's in the round it doesn't stripe.
Yeah.
So I kind of go by that. I know for a fact that I'm like, I lean a lot towards things that, like Eternal, has that bit of striping going on, but I'm never really disappointed by how it knits up. And I'm like, in the end, there's so many things that'll change it, your tension, what the pattern, etc.
Yeah.
It's still gonna look nice. It's all good.
Yes. I think that it's one thing that I really admire from your work is that you approach it as art, and your process is not very how to put it, mathematical. It's more organic, but I can literally, I can smell you in a skein. Like if someone shows me a skein and be like, who dyed this? I can go, that's Black Cat.
Yeah, I feel like it's gotten to the point where I have a very specific, like, niche sort style almost in my stuff, and that's what keeps me going and keeps me inspired. Because a lot of people have always asked why I don't dye in bigger batches, and I'm like, to me it kind of takes away from putting it forth as art. Yeah. And like, I know, and I do a lot of customs, but I know people would be like, oh, but you should put more out, it's so pretty. It loses some of its like
soul.
Yes, to me, when there's too much of it.
Yeah.
So I often dye in smaller batches and always put forth the idea of customs.
Yes.
But if it's once off and just general stock, dyeing in smaller quantities and putting more effort into that small batch than buying or putting it into a larger batch and not feeling the same connection towards it, it would wear me thin.
Yes.
So for me, dyeing smaller batches gives me more time and just inspiration to work on it and make that batch the batch.
I feel like it gives you more creative liberty.
Yes. And also that's why I don't often re-dye colorways unless it's for a custom, because once it's dyed, that little piece of me is in it.
Yeah.
And I can't recreate.
Yes.
I'm decent at recreating, but it doesn't feel the same anymore.
Yeah, it would be slightly different. And
yes.
I don't think with hand-dyed you would be able to recreate 100% every time.
You can recreate the vibe, etc. Like for instance, AJ has Moonflower, which very much has a very similar vibe and stuff that I've re-dyed on the DK, but it will never be the same as the very first batch.
Yes.
I'm pretty decent at color matching and getting my like depth of shade the same and stuff, but it will all have that little bit of like organic feel to it because it's not the first time.
Yes. Your hand moved a certain way this time and slightly different the next time.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm fine with that because at the end of the day, like for instance, this Verdant Twilight, not the first or the last skein I've dyed of it, but all of them have a very similar vibe and you can like yours all come from one batch.
Yes.
But
and then they very clearly fit together and should be working together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as long as it within that batch is fine, I'm happy.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's awesome. Cool.
I'm a sucker for limited edition things.
But that's it. Like it's one thing that I don't see a lot with smaller indie dyers is that you are willing to take on customs for bigger batches if people need. But they need to ask for it because I think also like if you do too much of one thing and you don't sell out, then it's a risk that you're taking.
Yes, it's a risk, and it also limits you because you get to the point where you're like, oh, I've got so much stock if I dye more.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I can keep my creativity flowing by doing the small batches. And if someone comes around and is like, listen, I need 8 of Verdant Twilight, by all means, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But if I can carry on and dye something that I feel drawn to or inspired to do, I'm much happier than stagnating in previous colors.
And something else that the small batches also does that I personally really like is that because you've got a like style that you stay true to, sometimes it happens that you dye a particular colorway and then like 2 months, 3 months later you dye something else. It's like, oh, they're meant to be friends.
Yes.
Like this Goth Barbie I'm going to be using with the brighter pink that you've done
fire,
before.
yes, from March, yes. And I mean, for instance, another example of something that you have from me is Descending and Ether, dyed at completely different times, but looked like they could have been dyed for each other.
They're brothers.
Literally. When I put them together the first time, I was like, you know what? They could very well have been a kid.
Yeah. And I think that gives you a lot of freedom as a buyer as well.
Yes.
That there is creativity in your catalog.
Yeah, well, I should be better about dyeing semi-solids. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Buy my variegated. Use it with some other semi-solid. I don't mind. Because at the end of the day, if my yarn plays nicely with other yarn, all the better for other people.
Yes.
I will go through phases where I'll dye a couple semi-solids and I'll be like, okay, that should be fine. And then it'll be a time where I completely derail and only dye variegated. But that's fine because I'm like, by all means, mix, play, go forth, be wild. I don't mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it fun because it doesn't limit you. And I by all means encourage just expressing your creativity in whatever way you see fit. If it means taking my variegated and using with the other semi-solid, go for it. I don't mind.
Yes. It's like following your dopamine.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, like if you see this and you love it, but I don't have a semi-solid that's in one of the shades that you want to put with it, raid your stash. Find something that works with it. Play with it.
Or ask for a custom.
Exactly, that too. By all means. Last while has been filled with quite a few customs. Like recently I did that entire box full of literally an ocean of blues.
And that was so beautiful.
I really loved that box. And I feel like I dyed a navy and a more like oceany blue and stuff for that. And it all worked so well with all the variegated colors. Sometimes I dye the variegated and it's just like an anchor for the rest of them.
Yes.
But I find it very fun to actually work with customs and let people be like, okay, I want this as my main color. But what do you think would suit it as like a contrast or a semi-solid? And then kind of going down that rabbit hole of figuring out what will fit.
Yeah.
Like recently I did that blue and sage green that were specifically meant to go with this.
Yes.
And it is also a case of they're not exactly similar. They're vastly different actually. But just it's within such a like frame that they complement each other, they pull from each other, they just work. And I really enjoy doing that. I really love working from a color and being like, okay, what is going to make this better?
To explore that
space. Exactly. And sometimes you pull things from it that you wouldn't expect, but it works.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that's what you need to do with yarn. You need to play with the colors. The colors are there to be played with.
Yes.
So I love customs, honestly. they're a lot of fun. Especially because half the time people are like, I trust you. Go forth. I'm like, sure thing.
That's super awesome.
It is. I've gained the trust in my customers to be able to do that, and I really, really appreciate it.
Yes, it's so precious.
It really is.
Awesome. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience?
I mean, that's a tricky one. There's a lot that I could probably talk about. But
there is something that you can share.
Right. Yes, there is. So I was within this last week, I was called by Anita from the Yarn Room, and I was invited to do a pop-up with Black Cat on the 21st of June. Yes. ADHD brain. And I will be there from 10 until 1, and we're going to have a lovely time and look at yarn and talk about yarn. And yeah, I think it should be good fun.
Yes, and I think it'll be really lovely for all the Gauteng peeps to come and like rummage through your yarns.
Because I mean, last time people had a chance was in October.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be a good chance to come and look at the new stock and
Yes.
have a chat.
Absolutely, meet you.
Yes. I mean, a couple have, but some haven't, and they look forward to it, I've been told so.
Yes.
I'm very excited for it.
And I'll also be there,
Yes.
so it'll be a great party all around.
It should be great fun.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that's about it for this episode.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. It was
Of
really
course.
fun hanging out with you,
It
like
was.
always. We are going to go prep dinner now, probably, and knit together a little bit because I'm here in Middelburg. Well, yeah, Hendrina,
Hendrina,
Middelburg. Similar place, short distance apart.
40 Ks. It's fine. Same.
In Joburg terms, it's the same place.
Exactly. Literally. Travel 2 hours in any direction in Joburg and you're still in Joburg.
Right? But yeah, so I'll be hanging out here for the weekend, and it's lovely having your hospitality.
I'm so glad to be here. We were meant to do this in March. Never happened, but here we are now.
It's okay.
Yeah. We made it work.
Yeah. So thank you for the audience for joining us. It was really fun hanging out with you as well, I promise. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. You did the bye tone so well. Sing to you just a little bit. I don't flip to the back. Okay.
No, wait,
I'll just cut that off. Cool. We go. Welcome back, everybody.